Hello, everyone. Hi, I made it. So, welcome to Whispering Spirit Tarot. I'll just wait for a few people to jump on before I start. Hope you've all had an amazing week. That full moon, hey? That full moon got me like, it's still affecting me, I have to say. Hello, everyone. Hello, 7 people who have joined. I don't know who you are. Hello, Beck. Good to see you. Yes, pop your name in the, or say hello in the comments so I can greet you. Yes, so the full moon, we're still feeling a bit of this moon. It'll start to sort of, the impact will start to fade a bit tomorrow. It was full on, wasn't it? I got really hammered, like, energetically by this full moon. I felt it. I had one of those cluster headaches. They're full on. I'm a bit traumatized by it. It's like a drill going through the side of my brain, like a needle going into my eye, and then it was just dripping. It was horrible. Anyway, I am feeling better. Still sort of lingering. They're still kind of lingering around here. I thought it was going this afternoon, but it's sort of lingering. So, whoa, there goes all my cards. Oh, and the prince, the knight of cups has fallen out. Is that my new love on his way? So, whilst I just wait for a few people to jump on, I should introduce myself. I'm new to Spirit Events Directory. I've got the name right now. Spiritual Events Directory. I've got the name right. My name is Marina Lobas. Hello, Sinead. And hello, Christine. My name is Marina Lobas, and I refer to myself as your soul purpose mentor, and I support intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs to monetize their passion to purpose, creating programs and services that sell out. And so I'm here every week on a Sunday night to deliver a energy report for the collective. So it's a tarot energy report. Your spirit team, my spirit team, your higher self, my higher self, all working in sacred collaboration together. And I've put my hand up to channel for us, for our tribe, and I happen to love doing it. So it's not a hassle for me to show up. I actually like doing the reading. I like the reading for myself as well. I quite like to see what the cards have to say. So after I've done the energy report, I will do some 1 card or 2 card readings for people. You just need to put yes in the comments section, and then I'll respond. Or if you've got a question, happy to answer questions, as long as they're not health questions. I don't really like health questions. So if we can avoid those, that would be great. I generally don't do pregnancy ones too. The reason being is because I'm not very good at them, to be honest. So rather than set you up with failure and set myself up with failure, let's not do those. In saying that, I do get them right, but I don't want to be, I don't know. Just be careful. I just want to be careful. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do the energy report. So I can see everybody's putting in, asking for their reading now. Firstly, I'm going to do the energy report, which will be a 3-card reading. So I'll pick 3 cards from the tarot deck, and these 3 cards will be a reading for the collective. And then the 3-card reading is generally really relevant for those, for the other people. For the rest of the cards that come out, it seems to be like a companion, or it adds more depth to the energy report. So they ask the same questions on multiple psychic pages. Really, Nigel, that's interesting. Nigel said sometimes there are bots that ask the same questions on multiple psychic pages. That's really interesting, isn't it? Okay, so before I do anything, I'm just going to put a link in the comments section. So here's a link here. Oh, no, that's not what I want to put in there. Whoopsie. God. Somebody's personal email address. That wouldn't be good. Okay, let me just put a link in the comments section for you. Sheets. Lucky I saw that. There you go. So that link is to my psychic circle. It's a coven for contemporary witches. I have an online 3-month membership group for baby witches, new witches, experienced witches. It's for those of you who may have been practicing as a solo witch and want to harness or to develop the craft, to develop your craft, and then plus receive weekly support from me and from the other people in the group. You'll learn all about the gods and the goddesses. You will learn about different money spells, love spells. You'll learn about fire magic, candle magic. This week we're doing channeling. We're running a channeling session, a live channeling session where you'll be learning about spirit guides, the angelic realm, mediumship, and deceased loved ones who have passed over, how to connect. So this will be this week's topic. So it is also it is a business mentoring group for witches and for intuitive entrepreneurs that want to monetize their passion to purpose. So I happen to be it's one of my skills is business mentoring, and so I have to be quite skilled at that. So I offer that in that space as well. It's a really inexpensive space. Click on the link because you'll learn more about what's in that space. There's free modules. There's heaps of content in there that you can use. And then plus, I jump in every week or every moon cycle to also do new moon readings and full moon readings for each of you. So you'll get 2 readings per moon cycle as well. And I'm thorough. So it's not like a one card. I'll get a reading. So everybody gets a reading who are in the group. I've only got 8 spots available now, or 7 spots available now. And yes, you're most welcome to join. As I said, it's for the contemporary witch. Witches with old world knowledge, but living in a modern world. Okay, so let me pick 3 cards for this week's energy report, and then I will do some 1-card readings. All right. Welcome to everybody who's jumped on. So happy that you're here. If you're feeling generous and you want to share, that would be amazing. Okay. 3 cards for this week. We want some good cards, don't we? Of course. I'm going in a little sticky pile there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what we've got. Let's see. What's it going to be? Hello, Kylie. Good to see you. Hello, Rachel. Oh, you got the email early today. Fabulous. Well, you're most welcome to join us. The link is there. I'll just put it in one more time because there's been a few people that have jumped in. There you go. There's the link. All right, let's start. Oh, look, beautiful Demeter. So in case you're wondering what cards I use, these are called the Mythic Tarot. They are, they're out of print, these particular cards. You can get the new Mythic Tarot, but these ones are out of print. Anyway, okay, so this is the Empress, and the Empress, the goddess that rules this card is Demeter, and Demeter is the goddess of the grain and fertility. She is all about trusting the natural cycles of life. So this card is about having new projects or having new ideas or new creative projects, or it's like the card of the rebirth. Sometimes it can be about births, like literal births, and not necessarily falling pregnant. I'm talking about births. So pregnant people who might be full term, this might be a sign for you this week. But yes, she is the goddess of fertility, and so when she comes up in a reading, she is about the natural cycles of life and divine timing. Just like a beautiful pregnant woman, if you try to intervene, medical intervention can often cause lots of implications and problems for a woman and a child. So this is the card of knowing that life has its own divine timing, that nature has its own divine timing, and that we've got to trust divine timing this week, to have faith that you are being taken care of and that nature is doing its thing. It's like a plant that grows in the, growing a plant. You can't really rush. You can't rush that process. You can potentially, fertilize and add water and sunlight, and it'll do all the right things, of course, to give it longevity and strong roots. But at the end of the day, nature has its own timing, just like the seasons. We might have a calendar, we assume that September, the 1st of September is spring. We know that the spring equinox actually is on the 23rd of September. But however, spring shows up when nature decides it's going to show up, despite any sort of calendars. So this card is the lesson. It's a lesson about trusting divine timing. And so it is about feeling into the currents of life, trusting the body, trusting your senses, trusting your instincts. It is about nourishment, nourishing ourselves this week, taking care of our bodies, and trusting that life is taking care of you, the planet. The Fool, who's the main character on this journey, who we are, we're the Fool, journeying through the major arcana, the trumps of the card. He learns with this card that he's been taken care of, that life is sustaining him, that he lives on this beautiful planet that's sustaining him and taking care of him. So this is about trusting that life will take care of you, that you will be supported this week. You can see here she's very pregnant. Look at her belly. She's full. So this is about the preparation, very close for any new projects, any new ideas, any new things that you are producing, that you are creating, are very, very close to being birthed, but it's not quite there yet. Don't force it. You can't, just be careful. Don't force things. Let nature take its course. Okay, next card. Oh, how curious. So now we have the Fool. Oh, this is just so fascinating. Okay, so now we have the Fool. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana. His rite of passage is really about, he's the eternal wanderer. He is you starting a new chapter, a new beginning, and the birth of the new project. So it looks like this week is going to be a big week. It's the new chapter happening, taking a leap of faith into new directions. You don't know his name is, in the story, his name is Dionysus, and he is known as the drunken, his energy is known as the drunken stupor. He is free and having a good time, and he's not worried. As I was saying before, he's also known as the eternal wanderer. He's everywhere and he's nowhere. He's kind of directionless. He's not wearing a persona yet. He's not wearing a coat yet. We don't know exactly what direction he's going to go in. We'll see with the other card what other card comes up. But this is the leap of faith that one must take when we move into a new chapter in our life, a new beginning. So this is a very promising card, especially for those of you who may have been going through some difficult times or have been through some challenges. This is a good sign. This says that things are going to shift and a new chapter is going to open up for you. And whatever difficulties you've been facing is kind of left behind. This is like the rebirth. This is your rebirthing, which is so supportive in regards to this card as a confirmation in regards to Demeter. And so, yes, he is a very freeing card. He is about your freedom for sure, but it's about starting again and being okay with starting again. Right, let's see what the next card. Oh, great card. Right. When I do these, it's all exciting. So there's great cards for this week, Katrina, especially for you. I think this is a really great spread for you, given the conversations that we've had this week. So, those of you who are looking for, wanting to try on or try out new, maybe I should say it like this. First of all, people in business. This is about finding your niche. This is about finding developing your gift. This is about trying things on for size. Sometimes I talk about this card in the context in business, in the context of finding the right pair of jeans that fit. You know what jeans are like? There's some jeans are really uncomfortable and some just fit just so perfectly and snug. And that's what it's like. That's sort of how it feels when you're trying to find what your niche is, what your strengths are, what your genius zone is. You've got to try things on for size. You've got to try things out. So this is the card of juggling your resources, trying things on for size. Those of you who are open to study, this is a sign to go and explore new fields of study. Go and sign up for that program. Go and sign up for that course. Let yourself have it. Let yourself explore. Let yourself try it out. You won't know if it's right for you if you don't try it on. And, you know, we're here to have experiences. We're not here to seek perfection. Life is we're here to experience, and you certainly don't want to regret. So I know what comes after this card. It's success. There's a level of success and a level of being like scaffolding to the next level, leveraging yourself to the next level, having discovered your gift, having discovered your craft. So this is definitely a great sign. So I would be encouraging you. So looking at all of these cards, take a leap of faith in the areas of your interest where you want to go and explore your craft, or potentially start up a new business, or potentially add something new to your business. Go and explore. Let yourself, like, you know, sometimes this card is like, it's like juggling your resources around, moving your resources around to see what fits, see what works, paying for one thing, making money from another, trying things on for size. And it is a really great card. There's no loss in this card. There's no loss. It's just working out what your genius zone is, working out where you know, what's in the pocket of your genius. What do you love? You know, what is your niche? Sometimes when I explain that, for those of you who might be in business, sometimes I explain it like this. It's the thing that you can talk about with ease, that you don't have to have a script in front of you to talk about. If someone put me on the spot and asked me to talk about tarot, I could talk about it easy without a script. You know, ask me something about the minor arcana and I could sit and talk about that for 20 minutes, no problem. So it's what you find really easy to talk about. And you know why? It's because you've explored it, you've studied it, you've read about it, you've Googled it, you talk about it with your friends, you may have done courses on it. And sometimes it's the most obvious thing, and we try and sort of become what we think we should do, instead of actually just exploring what's, you know, what we're actually good at, what naturally is organically fun for us to explore. So this is a really exciting week. So let's do a bit of a summary of these cards. So the Empress, this is a very fertile card. This is abundant. Okay, this is good sign. So those of you, if you're willing to take a leap of faith and do something new, try something new, go ahead. It's going to be abundant for you. Yes, it's going to be a bit like, you know, trying things on for size. You don't know whether it's, you know, what's going to fit, what works and what doesn't work. That's okay. There's no loss. There's no loss in this week's reading. It's all really abundant and very, very exciting. Be like the eternal wanderer. Be like a backpacker. Go and explore. Because he is like the eternal wanderer. He's a backpacker. He's everywhere and he's nowhere, and he's just led by his instincts. Let yourself explore. Be free. Take a chance. You'll be supported. You'll be supported by life, and it's really abundant. This is a, you know, we've got good fortune coming in this week. Go and enroll in the course and the thing and do the business thing. Just go ahead and play. Be playful. Be like the apprentice. Go and learn. Go and explore, and, you know, make it happen. Make it happen this week. Okay. So, good cards, hey? Happy with that. Now I'm thinking about my own business. What do I want to play with this week? Well, you know, I've got the Psychic Circle running, so that's very exciting. I'm really excited about my little coven, actually, our coven, I should say. We just went to the cinema today to see Pompeii, Sin City. Fabulous. Well, sort of. I did like it, and then I started to fall asleep. I felt just a little bit drowsy about 3/4 of the way in. Yeah, you know, it's like when someone can tell a good story, a good bedtime story. It was sort of hurting in that way, but it was good. It was really good. It was really relevant to the mythic tarot. It was good. It was good. Yes, if you're interested in mythology, it's a great movie. Go and see. Yeah, so our little coven, we all went to see that today. It was good fun. And then we had a lovely lunch, or I don't know, early dinner. I'm full, absolutely full. Okay, let me do some readings. So, okay. Fabulous cards, Laurie. They're so good. They're so good. Yes, it was such a great reading, Manda. This is a good sign for you. I'll have to post those things up. Manda will be making us tarot boxes and Ouija boards. So those of you, I do teach how to use an Ouija board. In fact, in my group tomorrow morning, I'll be doing full moon readings for our group, for our Psychic Circle. And I've got my Ouija board with me. I'll be chat spirit will be chatting with us whilst I'm reading cards. It's going to be fun. Yes, only in the psychic circle, only in our little coven. Okay. Beck. Sure, Beck, have you got a question? Have you got a question, Beck? Hello, Geraldine. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Have you got a question? All right, let me start with Tony and then I'll come back to Beck. So, Beck, if you've got a question, pop a question in. So, Tony Coppins. Hi from NZ, hun. I would love some guidance, please. And will I find a companion soon? Okay, let's see what comes up for Tony. Hello, Tony. Nice to meet you. Oh, okay, Tony. So, well, okay. So companion is still on hold for a little bit. Okay, I'm not getting that there's any companion yet. But what I am getting is that you need to go, the message that's dropping in is about going out and exploring, finding a group of people where you share the same interests, that potentially you may meet someone in that kind of setting, like a membership, like a meetup group or something that, at the end of the day, we meet suitable partners by proximity, and proximity meaning like where we most hang out and what we're really interested in. So I would be like getting involved in activities that are based on your interests, what you actually really love. But this is also the card of success, success of projects, any projects or anything you've been working on recently. This is a little bit of a hip hip hooray. Like you've made some achievements recently. So this is a really good card for that reason. The ship hasn't set sail yet. It's waiting for you to go on this new adventure. And I feel like this new adventure is around some kind of certification or some sort of study that you might have thought about, or maybe you've just recently had some certification, or maybe you've been thinking about getting some sort of up-leveling or some sort of I use the word up-leveling. I don't think it's the right word, like upskilling. Maybe you've already done that, or maybe you've been thinking about that, but this is you being rewarded for that. So I would encourage you to do that, for that to be your focus, because he's not here yet, or partner's not here yet. Okay. So I'll come back to Beck. Beck, where are you? I didn't think Beck had a question. I didn't see a question. Beck, here we go. Beck, thank you. Let's go a romance question 2. Okay, no problem. I've been single for a long time now, but feeling ready to step out into the dating world again. Does this look promising for me? Thank you. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say. Well, so the first thing that's coming through is, without even looking at the cards, is I'm feeling some energy around the heart chakra. It's not like a block as such, but it's more like maybe it is a block. It's like issues around protecting your feelings, or not wanting to open up, or staying not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. This is going to require you to start being a bit more vulnerable in your relationships. So what do I mean about vulnerability? I don't mean you having to tell your life story and sort of bleeding and crying over everyone. That's not what I mean. Vulnerability in terms of just being real about how you feel in the moment, like showing your real feelings, being able to say to somebody when you meet them, I like you. I'm having a nice time with you. This is really nice. This feels really good. Not being afraid to share that kind of vulnerability, that kind of intimacy, because I feel like that may have been, have been a problem in the past, not being able to be vulnerable in that way, hiding your feelings. So let's just see what cards are here for you. Okay, so yes, the ride isn't over yet. The Chariot is known as the carrier of experiences. This is the divine will. There is somebody, you are going to meet your soulmate in this lifetime. I am careful with that term, actually. I just thought then I must be careful with that. I'm not a big fan of this whole twin flame myth. I think it's somewhat of a myth. But myths have a certain, there's a psychology behind it. And I think this whole twin flame thing is meeting a partner that two people that share the same values, that understand each other, and there's a connection there. There's a mutual respect there. And, you're evolving together. This is somebody who's conscious as what you are, and who wants to grow and evolve with you. So this is somebody who's prepared to do the work to maintain a relationship, to take a relationship to the depths that you would imagine you would feel with someone that you're deeply connected with, that you're in love with, and you have that soulful connection with. So in this story, this is the story of Ares actually and Aphrodite, and they fell in love. But Aphrodite was married to Hephaestus, I think his name is. I can never say it, so I usually just call him Mr. H. So she was married to this really ugly man, but he was a good person, but he was very unattractive. And she loved Ares, the god of war. She found him so attractive. He was like this sexy brute. Like he was a brute. He was a rogue. He was unrefined. He was strong. He was masculine. He was manly, and she loved him, and he loved her. And so they had this very unconventional relationship where she was still married to her husband, but was having this affair with him, and they made love on the marital sofa many times. And her husband knew that was happening. He threw this net over the top of them, and then he got all the gods and the goddesses to stand around them and mock them. And they thought that Ares would then just lose himself and end up having this massive rage and destroy his relationship with Aphrodite and end up leaving. But he didn't. He stayed. He was able to control himself, to control his urges, to not lose his shit. So this card is about the carrier of experiences, and it is about divine will being called towards something or towards someone. And in regards to your question, this is being called towards another person. You will meet someone and you will feel that call. It'll be so strong. But here we go. Now we have the card of betrayals. You still have to do some work around the betrayals that you feel around the past, your past relationships. It's still there, and you still need to do some work, because that will affect you. You can see the two horses are being pulled in two different directions. That's the unconscious and the conscious mind. That's the unconscious drive. So these unconscious conditions or conditionings, or these fears, or these repressed feelings, the shadow aspect of yourself, that it can easily destroy a relationship, or we can become so logical and so over planning that we can actually destroy relationships because we're trying to control it. So this is about having the balance, recognizing those the old hurts there that we see in this card, and healing those, because that you need to heal your heart before you can go into another relationship and meet the love of your life, because you're likely to. That card confirms that for me. But you have to do some work around your heart chakra. That's really important. And I think the first thing I said to you when we started this reading was about vulnerability, having to going into a relationship, being open, allowing yourself to be open. Again, it's not about you bleeding all over people about your life story. It's more about being true, being real about your feelings when you're with someone, and not being afraid to share, saying, I like you, it feels good to be around you. All of that sort of stuff that we hide that. We want to play cool, Okay, so it's a yes, but timing is around the heart. When you start doing some work around that, you've got to start now. But you will meet the love of your life. That's a confirmation. Okay, so that was a big reading. Sorry, everyone. Okay, let's do Debbie. Love readings tonight. Yes, Aphrodite. Interesting. So curiously, Aphrodite is she is part of our, just hearing noises outside, might be my neighbours. Aphrodite is the goddess that we're working with in our psychic circle, this moon cycle. Aphrodite, the goddess of love. We're harnessing her energy for self-love and for relationship, calling in lovers, calling in our lovers, calling in relationship, loving ourselves. We've got these beautiful little love jars, love potions, candle magic to bring in the love. Yes, love is one of the most important ingredients that you can have to any spell. It is the very core of anything abundant that is happening in our life. Love is at the center of that. Love is at the center of abundance. Remember that. If you want to have an abundant life, you need to draw on and harness love and share love and let that be the moving force to attract abundance and loving and love, obviously, relationship in your life. Okay, Debbie. Hello, Kim. Good to see you. All right, Debbie Keys. Let's see. Debbie Keys. 1. I'm going for hidden cards. Hidden ones. Hidden cards. Hello from New Zealand. Sarah, nice to meet you. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Wondering if I'll meet someone special this year. So this is Queen Omphale. So she is a very sensual goddess. She's in the sign of Taurus. She's ruled by Venus, the goddess of love, Aphrodite. She's touched by Aphrodite. So the Queen of Pentacles, she's in the element of earth, and she's about the way in which we nourish and we pleasure our lives. The message with this card for you, Debbie, is that you need to start thinking about how you can pleasure your life. The focus needs to be on you and pleasuring yourself at the moment. Sorry if this is very upfront, confronting. So with this card, she is what I would call the goddess of self-worth, or the queen of self-worth. She uses all of her resources to take care of herself, her body, and to nourish her life in the most high quality way. For her, it's about quality over quantity. It's about investing her time, her energy, and her money into quality of experiences, to having a quality of experiences, or to creating quality in her experiences. She wears the best clothes, she has the best bed linen, she eats the best food. It's not about the price tag, it's about quality. She's looking for quality. So you're being called to focus on quality over quantity. You've got to bring quality into your field. And so that starts with, of course, if you want love, you've got to become a partner to yourself, so that when you do, as you learn to nurture and you pleasure yourself in that way, love yourself, be this amazing partner to yourself, then you'll be able to recognize those qualities in another. And so the other card that we have here is the card of the devil. So this is the wild woman. This is the wild woman that's repressed, that's been hidden, that's hidden in your unconscious realm. This is you hiding your true nature, not really letting the true you out, letting the wild woman out. So this is about this card is about expressing these parts of you that you might have been hiding from others. But this is about you, like, getting your Aphrodite on, getting this, like, getting your hotness on, like getting yourself looking hot, going out of your way to wear your best clothes, to wear your beautiful earrings, to wear your nice underwear, all of that sort of stuff, like pleasuring your life, like being the goddess, the hot goddess that you are, letting yourself have that, doing that just for the sake of the experience, for the pleasure of it, and you're more likely to attract someone by doing so. But this is also about addictions, to be careful as well, not to hide your true self behind addictions, behind habitual patterns of behavior that you've been using to suppress or repress who you really are, or hide yourself. That this needs to be worked on as well if you want to attract the right partner. Okay, so next person. All these relationship readings, how fun. Let's do more relationships readings. Ashley Khan, hello. Would love to know how my year will play out regarding relationships, please. Sure, let's do a bit of a shuffle, shall we? Yes, how fun. I'm sort of like, I'm enjoying this. This is fun. Relationship readings, good fun. Great. Okay, let's see what comes up for you. Do you know, let me say this. I want to say this about forecasting. And I think there is, we have to be careful making forecasts. Any psychic reader or anybody who is a tarot reader, but I should let you know, I do teach tarot and channeling and therapeutic tarot. And this is where I'm coming from and sharing this with you, that we must be careful with forecasting because people have their own divine timing and we cannot micromanage what people do outside of the session as well. And it all of the timing sort of depends on your willingness to step out of your comfort zone when you decide you're ready to take those leaps, when you decide to follow the nudges. So a reader, I have known readers to be very inaccurate around timing. Does that mean that they're inaccurate readers? No, I just think we have to be aware that people have divine will, and there are all sorts of reasons that people hold back or dam up the flow or slow down what is destined for them because they're afraid, or they're scared to take a leap of faith, or they're putting it off, or we all do all sorts of things to avoid the discomfort of change. Okay, so Ashley, that was an intro to we must be careful around timing, but let's just see what the cards have to say. Oh, look. Okay, so we've got good cards. So this card suggests to me that you need to get clear on what you want. So I would encourage you to be writing a love letter. And we do this in my psychic circle, actually. I call it the love letter spell. So I would encourage you on a Friday night, when it's a new moon cycle on a Friday night, I would encourage you to write a letter to yourself from the man of your dreams, how you would imagine him to speak to you, and go and let him detail who he is to you based on what you want. And be very careful. Be very careful about this, because when you write things into form, it's your first manifestation. It is manifesting into physical form. So it's a very powerful act to do this. So on a Friday night, on a full moon, visualize, on a new moon, new moon cycle, you could do it on a full moon too. Visualize him, imagine him, and so you want to be channeling, imagining what he might be saying to you about who he is, and what you want, the kind of relationship that you want. Write down the detail. Be detailed. Don't be afraid to be detailed. Don't negotiate on that. Don't negotiate. You can be a bit sort of negotiating on looks, but certain qualities, do not negotiate on that. Okay. Abundance, fertility, this is exciting. This is very exciting. So this is a very fertile year for you. When we're talking about years, it's very, the next 6 months at least, a very fertile time for you. So you will reap the harvest, but you have to go out there and make it happen. Obviously, you've got to be a participator on this journey. You've got to be a participant on this. So this tells me that it's a very fertile time for you to go seeking out new love. Be very clear with your love letter spell, super clear, and then obviously you need to go out and be available to make it happen. Now, remember, at the beginning of this reading, if you were here at the beginning of this reading, we were talking about divine timing, that you cannot, it's like you have to trust in divine timing. You have to be, don't wait for him to come knocking on your door. You're going to have to be out there to make it happen, but you have to trust that let nature take its course. Let nature take its course. Trust in the natural cycles of life, and trust that nature will take its course. Okay. So, which sort of leads into my conversation in the beginning about, timing. We have to be careful around that. Right. So, let's see. Shirley Beret. I'd love a reading about my spirituality journey. Sure. Let's go on a different tangent, shall we? So thanks everyone for joining. If you've just jumped on, my name is Marina Lovas and I am your soul purpose mentor, and I support intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs to monetize their passion to purpose, creating programs and services and products that sell out. And I do that through tarot and channeling and my beautiful psychic circle, which I'll put a link in the comments section here for you. It is a coven for the contemporary witch, for the modern day witch. Come and jump in. We've got an amazing group of women in there. We meet every second Thursday for a little coven meeting. Well, I do some I'll do some training and mentoring around spirituality, intuitive arts, witchcraft, of course, because that's what we do. We work on intention settings, spells, harnessing the power of the moon. You receive full moon and new moon readings in the group. Plus, there's always more content that's being filled up in that space. We've got modules that are sitting in there that you can jump in on and have a look. Trainings, pendulum, channeling trainings that are already in there. And when you sign up, you also get my free Lovers Tarot self-paced study pack. So it's a 3-hour training. I teach you how to read the tarot, the cups, how to use the cups and do Lovers Tarot, like relationship spreads. It's really great. Okay, and that's free when you sign up. All right, Shirley Baroy. I haven't got my glasses on. I'm so sorry. It's because the reflection of the light, I can't see. So I do actually wear glasses, but I can't wear them in this room. It just, reflection is full on. Okay, Shirley Baroy. Let's see. Reading about my spirituality journey. Be interesting if Chiron showed up. Oh, okay. Whoa. So, right. Well, your spirituality journey. Interesting. So we've got now the Queen of Wands. She is in the sign of Leo. We can tell by that beautiful line there. So you are shining. You are shining. Your spiritual practice, you and spirituality are a really good match. I'm actually feeling like this is not just a spiritual journey. This is you on the journey of exploring the intuitive arts. You're very psychic. You are very, very intuitive, and you're visionary. You're an oracle. You can see things. You have clairvoyant abilities, and I feel like this is a great path, a very exciting path for you. You're being called to not, you can't rush the learning, like the learning will, to come. And if you've watched the beginning of this reading, the 3-card energy report for this week, I think this card is a really good support to this. And we talked about trying things out and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work, and that it would all be fruitful, that it's all worth it. It's all worth pursuing. So in this card, this is the card of Queen Penelope, who was married to Odysseus, and Odysseus took off to Troy to fight the Trojan War. We've all heard, well, many of us have heard about the Trojan War. It lasted for 10 years, but it took him 16 years to come back to her. That entire time she waited for him. Her heart was loyal to him. She looked after, you can see that she sits in his throne. She looked after the kingdom. And during that time, there were many suitors who were vying for her attention, that wanted his throne, actually, and wanted her and the throne. But she never gave up, and she was very clever. She was very clever and crafty in how she could deter these or stop her from being remarried. And so she knew her husband would come back, despite everybody saying to her that he's passed away, he died, he's dead, he's not coming back. But she trusted deep in her heart. So this is about that deep level of trust that you must like stay close to your heart and to your passions, and know that there is something very, very exciting and fruitful to come, but you've got to be patient with yourself on this path. So this tells me that there is a business, or there is something like it's going to become like a creative project for you if it hasn't already. And this is like the longevity of this. This is that you're developing something that's going to serve you long term. So stay, don't run from this. Oh, your second name is Penelope. How cute. Queen Penelope, there she's come to visit. So the other card that I've got for you is the Tower card. So the Tower card is not a bad card. It does get a bit of a bad rap in the tarot. Oh, I've just like crossed my legs, tightened my legs a little bit. So there's a little bit of stress with this card. So this is about the Tower, like the the masks falling down, the untruths, the way in which we have shown up in the world that's out of alignment to who you really are. So this is about, sometimes I call this tower the tower of bullshit. I'm not suggesting you're a bullshit artist. That's not what I'm saying. But we wear these personas. We wear a jacket, a coat, these personas to interface with our reality and to the people within it, to meet the demands of the audience. And sometimes the masks are just not the right fit. They're just not true to who you are. And so this is about the way in which you've been what you don't want to be, or you've been showing up in your world or in your relationships not really being who you really want, who you really are. And so this is about the man-made structures, so that can be beliefs and lives that we've constructed for ourselves that are out of alignment with who we are, and they are falling. They're starting to fall. So this spiritual journey is actually taking you on a very deep journey of finding yourself. And it means that some of your relationships are going to change for sure. People are going to fall away. And that may feel somewhat distressing at times, but necessary for you, because you're evolving and you're changing. You can't be somebody that you're not. It's like you're really discovering who you are and who you're becoming. It's very exciting, but at the same time, yes, it creates some conflict. Inner conflict as well as external conflict. Okay, but the message is to stay, like a good meditation. Stay despite the distractions. Stay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Another relationship one. Nikia Shaw, Kia. Hello, nice to meet you. Hi from Tasmania. I'd love to go to Tasmania. I'm going to put that on my list one day of things to do. I would love a reading on my relationship with my partner. We've been together for about 14 months, about 14 months. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see. Hello, Cat. Haven't seen you for a while. I don't do health readings. I'm sorry, Cat. The only thing that I would probably say about frozen backs is that that's about support, and I might talk about the emotional, reason, but health issues. I don't diagnose. I don't do diagnosis. Okay, Nikia. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Okay. Oh, okay. So the Lovers card. We don't do upside downs with the Mythic Tarot, by the way. All the cards carry light and dark aspects. So we combine the both light and the dark, the anima, the animus, the dualities of life. We combine it with each card. So that wasn't it wasn't a sign, the card being upside down. Okay, so the Lovers card represents the conflicts that we have in our relationships, and sometimes it's because of like the hasty decisions that we've made, or we've rushed into relationships, or we've based our decision on the relationships maybe on more superficial reasons, or what we thought we wanted rather than what our heart actually truly desires. In the story Paris, I have to tell you the story because I think it's really relevant, Nikia. So in the story, Paris has been enlisted by the gods to vote in this beauty contest, because the gods knew that they didn't want to be voting. Zeus didn't want to be casting any vote, because the goddesses are wrathful goddesses, and they knew they were going to be in trouble. So they thought, well, let's get Paris. Paris is a shepherd at the time, and he didn't know his lineage at that point. Anyway, he was a shepherd at that point, and he was good looking, and he was shagging lots of women in the fields. Anyway, so he thought that he would have a good eye for beauty. So they had Paris vote in this beauty contest, and so Hera, here we go. Hera offers him the rulership. If you vote for me, you will rule the world. I'll give you rulership, and you'll have an amazing career, and you'll make lots of money, and you'll be very powerful. And then Athena says to him, I'll make you the greatest warrior ever known. You'll be the greatest warrior, and you'll be the strongest man to have lived. And then Aphrodite in the center here drops her gown, and she says, I will give you the most beautiful woman in the world, and you will fall deeply in love with her. And she will be like stunning, hot. Well, so Paris, not thinking long term, thought, yeah, I'm going for the hot one. So I'm taking Aphrodite. It's you, Aphrodite. Well, the most beautiful woman in the world was already married to Menelaus and was the queen of Sparta. And so if you've all heard of the story, Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. Well, yes, it was their relationship that started this big war in Troy. So it was a very poor decision on Paris's part. So this is about those immature decisions that we make, and the mistakes that we make in our relationships, that we base things on what we think we want, on short term, on like lusty things, like because they're hot or because they're good in bed, or but they're short term gains. It's not really for the long haul. So the other card that comes up, so you need to think about your decisions around this. Like, is this what you want to do forever? Is this what you want to do? So the next card that comes up is about valuing your worth. You have to put your self-worth on you have to value yourself. You have to put yourself on a pedestal somewhere. And I don't mean that, to having this inflated ego, but you have to. This is the card of valuing you, that you are enough. So any doubts that you have about not being enough is incorrect. Whatever this relationship has brought up in you, the negative feelings that it has brought up in you, it's simply not true. You are enough. You've always been enough, and you will be enough, and you have enough. You are all enough. You are enough. So this is the card about recognizing your self-worth, and that you can have the kind of relationship that you want. You don't have to settle for less. Okay. So just checking the time. Oh, all these love questions. Yes, Katrina, would love to read for you. So Katrina's question is, would love a relationship reading if you have time. Where the fuck is he? I just swore, didn't I? Because I can. Yes. Well, good question. Where is he? What the hell is going on, Katrina? I'm with you on that. Let's have a look. Okay. So again, what I'm feeling already, what's dropping in sort of sat in the background of experience. One was, you've got to go out and socialize. You've got to mix it up. You need to sort of get out there and meet new people, new faces, new places, new people. And does that mean that's going to like hasten or fasten things up? I don't know, but what I'm getting is it's the practice of vulnerability, the practice of opening up, the practice of like dating, the practice of walking up to somebody in a setting and saying, oh, I really like you, you seem really nice, like being open to meet someone, practicing these skills of dating, which is probably like, oh, a bit intimidating, but this is like it's how it's going to happen. Sitting behind closed doors isn't going to make it happen. So that's one message that's dropping through. Let's see what the cards have to say. One, I think these two cards are staring at me, so I'm just going to go straight for those two cards. Oh, when there's it's going to be a good card. So right, love is in the air. So this is a good sign. This is a really good sign. So yes, there is love. There is love for you. We have to be careful with this card to not get caught up in the projecting what we want onto another. So this is in the sign of Pisces. Pisceans are beautiful, gentle, loving, very psychic, intuitive, romantic lovers, and this is the sign that there is someone there for you. I want you to see yourself as worthy as him. Sometimes the message in this card is that we exalt our lovers, or we exalt the person that we want to be with, or we see them as more special than ourselves. So you're being called to don't sacrifice yourself for love. One of the lessons that you've had to learn over and over again is self-sacrificing, making these big sacrifices for your lovers. Like, you don't need to sacrifice who you are. In fact, in the story, this is the story of Perseus, who rescued his mother, rescued his wife from a sea monster. What was his wife's name? I've just forgotten. Andromeda. And yes, and so he's very romantic. He was a very romantic man. And so romance is on its way for sure. Be careful though, be careful. This is the card of healing. Look at this. This is such a great card. Your mate. your mate Temperance, Katrina, your guide, your angelic guides taking care of you. Trust that your guides they are bringing love to you. You can trust that your heart is healing. This is about forgiving yourself for the mistakes that were made in the past. And you're starting to do that now. You're starting to heal. And this is about letting your emotions flow, being, opening your heart again, becoming, far more heart-centered than perhaps you have been before. Not that you were a cold person, that's not what I'm suggesting, but more heart conscious maybe is maybe a better way to describe this. This is your beautiful guide stepping in to support you on this journey. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Be careful not to sacrifice who you are in your relationships, because you can tend to do that. Don't exalt people. Don't project what you think you want them to be. Just see them for who they really are. And it's much not, it's a much more realistic way to, well, you'll find the right person by doing so. Okay, but he's coming. He's on his way. He's on timing. I don't know around the time. Just know that he is. He is. The fact that's come up, confirmation, it's sooner than later. So you need to sort of go out there, like get out, get amongst it. You need to come out with us, Katrina. Every month we go out. I'm not talking about the coven. I'm talking about the other stuff. Okay. With the girls. Yes. All right. Hey, Katrina's in Perth. I'm in Perth, by the way. Okay. All right. Let's Alexa, I need to know if my husband will come back to me. Let's see what the cards have to say. I'm sorry that's happened to you, Alexa. It must be really difficult for you right now, and your heart, it feels like your heart is broken. It is very hard. Endings to relationships are very difficult, and it takes some time to recover. And yes, and of course, there's grief. There's grief that we have to learn to we grieve because we love. And that can be, it can be very emotional, obviously, when we break up, when relationships fall apart. Let's see what the cards have to say. So grief, sort of comes in waves. Some days we feel good and normal, and then other days we feel horrendous, and then we sort of go into denial. Did this really happen? Is this really happening? This can't be happening. And then we start thinking what you could have done to sort of change things. And, there's the shock. There's the shock of it as well. It just doesn't seem real. And then there's the anger that comes up too. We feel very angry about how dare they? How could they have done that to me? All that sort of stuff comes up, really normal. Really, really normal. And then, of course, the sadness. And, it's very common, people when they break up with their loved ones, sometimes I call it situational depression. You feel depressed. It's not because you're clinically depressed or there's something wrong with you. It's based on the situation that you find yourself in. Very normal response to grief. Okay, let's pick a card for Alexa. 1, 2. Okay, so Alexa, so this card, it doesn't tell me, like, it looks happy. It looks like a happy card, but be careful. Love is blind. So in this card, it is about the way in which we project what we want onto our partners, and we marry what we think we want rather than what we actually. How do I explain this? It's like we exalt our partners. I was talking about that just before. We exalt, when we first fall in love with someone, we exalt them and we project this image of who we want them to be. They're a god and they're a goddess, but that's not true to who they are. And so it's like you've been sort of living in this facade of what you thought was reality, but it actually was an illusion. You were being deluded. And in this card, whilst it all seems like happy fairy tales, it all is not as it seems with this card. So, sometimes, it looks like a celebration, and on some levels, in some spreads, it can be about celebratory relation, coming together, commitments are coming together, but it is also, this card is also about about the rose-tinted glasses that we often wear in our relationship. In the story, Psyche and Eros have met each other for the first time. He was sent by his mother, Aphrodite, to ensure that Psyche would be taken by the sea monster, because Aphrodite was insanely jealous of Psyche because she was so beautiful, Psyche meaning soul, because she was so beautiful. And so she wanted her to be dragged under the ocean, and to have a prearranged marriage with a sea monster. And so she sent Eros, her son, to go and ensure that she had been taken by the sea monster. But what happened is he accidentally pricked himself with one of his arrows and saw her and fell in love with her. And she can't see him yet. She doesn't know in the story. She doesn't know who she's married, and he's not honest with her either. So it's kind of like a dishonest union. There's some dishonesty in the union, and they can grow in the story. They can grow past that, but not without a lot of work. So, recover from that, or learn from that, or learn to face each other for who they really are. Eventually, that happens in the story. But the other card is the Two of Wands, and this card represents beginnings, like a transition for like a new adventure, a new chapter in your life. So my feeling is that you need to start thinking about this new chapter. Start focusing on this new chapter. Start focusing on what you want, the kind of life that you want. Let that be your focus now. This is a transitionary card. It's about putting plans in place to know what your next step is. So you need to focus on your next step. What is your next step, and how you're going to transition from this position that you're in now? Get focused on the next step. It is destiny. Your soul contract is in the background there in the hands of Chiron. You probably can't see this. It's hard to see in this light. Chiron, the wounded healer, who is also a guide and a spiritual teacher, guiding you and taking care of you, and has whispered your legacy to you. So you kind of know what you know what you need to do. So this is about putting plans in motion to take the next step. Okay. Yes. All right. So I'm going to put a link in the comments here. So this is for my amazing psychic circle, the coven of amazing contemporary witches that are coming together for 3 months of the 3-month coven, where we come together. I'm going to teach you everything about witchcraft, spells, intention setting, manifesting your dreams into reality. I business coach in there. I also, life coaching. I'm supporting you to create a life that you want. And of course, we're including all of the beautiful intuitive arts in our practice. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Soul is your spirit having a human experience. And so we hold space for that beautiful energy in our coven. Would love for you to be a part of that. I've only got 7 spots left. And yes, come join us. The link is there. Thank you so much for tonight. Appreciate any shares and appreciate you all showing up. So privileged to be here. So privileged to read for you. And thank you so much. Big hugs, everyone. See you all next week. And I'll summarize this reading and I'll pop it in the Spirit Directory page so you can go back and have a look and just recapture it. Okay, sending love, everyone. Take care.